Ohayo gozaimasu. Watashi wa Chris Wilson desu, and if you don't speak Japanese, don't worry, I don't either. I'm going to get this one wrong, but Watashi no musumi o ishiri mashita. That means my daughter taught me a few phrases, or I'm saying something about a hippopotamus. I'm not really sure. But I am Chris Wilson, AC member from Google, for those of you who don't know me, member of the advisory board and chair and editor of the Vision Task Force along with Tontek Celik. And I promise this session is going to be brief. I'm not here to give a long, boring update of everything in the vision. I'm not even here to talk about everything in the vision. I'm really here because I do think the vision frames what we all do, what we're doing here, what mission we're on, in effect. And I think it's also a really good way to frame the talks that we're giving. So, although this is a work that the AB started and works on to try to kind of say what unites us, the goal here is to really represent shared values of our entire community and then use that to guide our work as well. So, why do we even need to talk about this? I mean, there was definitely a point where we said, without having a singular director to guide the W3C, we need to frame what our shared principles were. We needed to come up with what the modern community-grounded principles were to drive us, help that to consistently make decisions. We also recognized there were growing privacy and other ethical concerns on the web. And of course, as Seth said earlier, pointed out with a very nice graph, the continued growth and importance of the web in everyday life. So we felt we have to improve the integrity, the trustworthiness of the web as a whole. And that credibility for W3C's future really comes from our shared community consensus. Now, before we get into the vision of what W3C is, we needed to frame what the vision of the web was. This is clearly a great space for the tag's ethical web principles, which you'll hear more about later from Dan. These basic points, though, come from that document. The web is for all humanity. The web is designed for the good of its users. It has to be safe for those users. And there's one singular interoperable World Wide Web. Now, this is a great framework for the web. And what we needed to do from that point was articulate the vision for W3C itself. The W3C leads the community in defining that web that puts users first by developing standards and guidelines to empower an equitable, interconnected, informed society. Now, the fundamental function of W3C is really just to provide that open forum where a bunch of different diverse voices from different industries, different organizations from all over the world can come together and evolve the web by building consensus on those voluntary standards. Now, the vision document goes into a ton more detail about this, specific principles and values. I don't really want to talk about that now. What I want you to do is go read the vision document, and do please give us commentary on it. It shouldn't be any surprise that we're user first, that we're multi-stakeholder, that diversity is important to us, that things like avoiding centralization are key for our future. But these principles should run through all of the work that we do at W3C. And if it doesn't, we probably don't have it quite right yet, so we want to hear that. And with that in mind, the advisory board just last week published our first note, not draft note, but note. That means we have consensus on this work inside the advisory board. It doesn't mean that we're done. We know that we're not done. We are continuing to work on this. We have a bunch of issues that we need to resolve. We're not quite ready to ask for the AC's endorsement as a statement yet. That's also a topic Dan's going to talk about later. But we do think that's coming soon, hopefully by the end of the year. So, in conclusion, these principles are intended to guide us as a whole, ensure that the web fulfills its vision, and gives us that basis for forming that equitable, informed, and interconnected society. I do want to ask you again, please review the vision document and call out any high-level concerns that you might have about it. We have a breakout session on this tomorrow as well, Tontek and I do, and you can always approach either one of us or comment on the GitHub. The feedback link is actually in the document itself.